I didn't think of this as really a political film. I thought this was a film about sort of moral choices, and I don't think that that has necessarily any political stripe. I just thought it was a fun moral tale, and once you put it in politics, it sort of amps up all the problems. I thought that was fun.
Please.
Pretty much, and I don't want to blow anybody's mind, pretty much the same guy as George Clooney, the actor. Basically the same height, same hair, pretty much the same. Yeah, I did get that extra one. I'm not quite sure what you want me to say about it, except that I'm lucky enough to work with a great bunch of actors who sort of elevate the project. So that's the secret to directing, I think, is working with really good people. When you get these guys, they just, they like the script, they wanted to do the part, and you sort of get out of the way, mostly. You gotta remember that films don't lead the way. People a lot of times think that films somehow are trying to lead society. In general, it takes about 2 years, at the very least, to get a film made. So mostly we're reflecting the moods and thoughts that are going on in our country or around the world. So if this film reflects some of the cynicism that we've seen in recent times, that's probably good. It's not a bad thing to hold a mirror up and look at some of the things that we're doing. Not a bad thing to look at how we elect our officials at times like that. But that wasn't what the film was designed to do. I mean, honestly, the idea was for us that there isn't a person you've ever met that hasn't been faced with certain moral questions. Every one of us has had that idea of, well, if I take this job, which is better, I might be screwing over my boss who I like. Everybody has a makes moral choices that better themselves and hurt someone else along the way. And whether or not that the means justify the ends. And that, to me, is universal, and it could have been literally in Wall Street, actually probably easier in Wall Street. It could have been anywhere. So that was our point. I think he knocks it out of the park. Look, this is a very, very difficult role. You've got to be the center of a hurricane, and you have to carry everyone and everybody's point of view on your shoulders, and it's a very difficult thing to do. It requires intelligence in an actor, which doesn't always happen for some reason. I don't know. No, working with Ryan was just a delight, and working with all these actors really makes it. I'm quite serious, as you well know, makes it very easy because they're so wonderful. And Ryan gives just a tremendous performance in this film, and I'm honored that he and everyone else did it. Some of the speeches that I used were some of the things and ideas that my dad used to write about in the late '70s in the newspaper, and the idea of him having some of these issues that he has seem to pop up on, pretty much almost every week in politics. So it seemed sort of familiar to us in a lot of ways. People thought it was about the John Edwards thing, but this was written long before the John Edwards thing broke. So we didn't really model it after anybody. There were enough examples that we could just pick little pieces all we wanted.